Over the last decade or so, we have seen numerous examples of change and innovation in our schools. What we discovered as possible grew at an unprecedented rate. What our staff, students, and families did is nothing short of incredible. When we look at innovation and education, too often we focus on the devices, on the stuff, instead of looking at what students can do with the technology. The question we have to ask ourselves is, what now? We have proven we can do what we once thought was not possible, is now being done every day.
It's interesting because not that long ago we had carts of iPods. Kids would use the iPods that were yay big, and we were fortunate enough to expand our program. District leadership has supported the expansion of Inspire. We were able to expand that to the high school. Enter pandemic learning 2020, and again, we were able to bring one-to-one devices into our elementary buildings. So it's very exciting. Kids all throughout their time in St. Cloud schools have access to a device that they can use for learning. It's a device that they can bring home and give that anywhere, anytime learning experience. This was all in our roadmap, but it happened so much faster than any of us had planned because we had to move. We've been able to do things that we didn't think we'd be able to do. We're able to work directly with students, the support staff. Anybody who's involved in a student experience in St. Cloud schools is somebody who we support.
The days typically start out where I get into the room and I get into my office and there might be a staff member right away or a student who has questions. So you don't know what to expect. And a couple years ago, admin said, plan out your day. But there's a lot of things with technology with one-to-one where you can't plan it out. You have to be ready to go on the fly to be able to support teachers. If their smartboard isn't working in the morning and they want to show their morning message, I need to get down there right away to support them in any way possible. I want them to be successful and for them to feel ready for the day to start out with.
Mondays are usually the busiest because of the weekend. Kids will come in with their devices that sometimes they get locked out or they may have damaged it over the weekend. So we'll take a quick look at it. That way we can sometimes get it back to the student within an hour.
My job is sort of like I'm the go-between between the students and the teachers. I can help the teachers get what they need to reach out to the students. I can help the students get what they need to get their work done, to turn their work in, kind of coordinating that conversation between the two of them. Hopefully just being able to reach out to teachers and give them some guidance on how to use that technology in their classroom and use those for the kids to help enhance their learning.
We've had a very successful Distance Learning Academy. We have some excellent teachers and excellent leaders in place that's helping kids be successful, and that's grown. What do those things look like? The engagement piece with kids using Schoology, our learning management system, and Seesaw at the elementary, just getting the kids and the staff and the leadership to all interact through those systems is really exciting.
Last spring it was a lot of survival mode, like, okay, let's just jump in, let's use our Schoology, but I've seen so much this year where teachers have been using more and more technology and different ways to keep kids engaged. Games, collaborative projects. It's been really good to see from both sides, everybody kind of growing through the technology.
I have noticed that the students that necessarily aren't engaged here have actually excelled by being at home because they don't have the distractions. They have had to take more ownership, making sure they know how to do their assignments.
Where to go. Last year, a lot of times the teachers might have thought, we could do this, but are they ready for it? Have they been exposed enough? And to a lot of our teacher surprises, the kids are very, very intelligent when it comes to their devices. They're doing things on there that adults didn't realize. There was times where I've been doing things with those students and they're like, hey, did you know that this does that? I'm like, no, it did not. Awesome work. Can you show the rest of the class that?
School's not easy for everybody, whether it's academic pressure, whether it's social pressure. What we try to do is we try to make school accessible for everybody. And we do our best to try to eliminate some of those anxieties. I think it's increased students' confidence. I think students are better at problem solving, are better at being a more active participant in their learning, because over the last year, for sure, that's really kind of been a requirement.
Last spring, when we first found out we would be working from home and learning from home for a while, I remember reaching out to Alicia Fisher, our principal, and I remember saying, we need to focus not on what we can't do, but what we still can and what we always could do. And so whether that means reaching out to students, building relationships, teaching, there's all sorts of ways we can do that. It may not be the way we're used to doing it, but we still can reach out to people and find different ways using what we have and what we already know.
I love when kids think outside the box. I don't like to set the limits like this is what we're gonna do. I love to be able to see what they can do. Every day there's a child who goes above and beyond what is expected. I always tell my students that the materials that we're using, somebody created. Somebody's previous second grader, kindergartner, first grader, preschooler, fifth grader, somebody created this stuff. And for them to realize that, wait, a person designed this? And I'm like, you guys can be that next person to design something. I tell them every single year, one of you is going to be somebody where I'm going to be purchasing something that you have created, because we have such great minds that are taking things to that next level.
It's hard to say exactly what we do because it truly is different every day. But when the common goal is helping students be successful, we all share the same vision. The why is why I come to work every day, and that's making a positive difference in the lives of students.
742, be the difference.
742, be the difference.
742, be the difference.
742, be the difference.
That's why my mask says, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on?